Hello, friends. I am Tyro in Kuwait. The new She-Ra has come out. Is it trash, as everyone expects? Or have they defied the haters and created a modern take that will rival the original, as with Voltron? This is a dangerous quest, and I don't want to go alone. With me to help evaluate the series is my waifu, Lo-Fi.
Hello, everybody. I am Lo-Fi in Kuwait.
Let's begin.
Episode 1.
I like the backgrounds. Decent shading, well composed. They have a different color scheme to them so you know where you are.
Catra's cute. I kinda wanna pet her. Meow.
I also find myself liking the new Catra more than I expected. Whoever wrote her had a good grasp of that archetype. A half-decent intro to the world and central conflict in the first 5 minutes. You know who's fighting who, though they forget to establish the why.
There's no shading in the animation design. Everything looks flat. And why did we all have bags under their eyes? Guess they're already tired of being in the show? Joking aside, they were trying to add contours to the skull, but it just looked like Tumblr nose. But bigger!
Reminds me of the cheap animation from ACOM in the 80s. Maybe it's a tribute? And now we're getting our first look at the rebels. Oh god, what is this?
What is that voice? It's Glimmer! Glimmer's that voice! Shut up, Glimmer!
My ears are bleeding. I want to poke them out with knitting needles.
Are these supposed to be the good guys? I hate them! I want them to die in a fire!
It's so weird how the villain comes across as a better and more caring mother than the good guy. At least Shadow Weaver knew how to raise a daughter who was respectful and didn't screech like nails on a chalkboard.
And then there's Bo. Just there. He's the soccer of this group. But he's definitely a bargain bin soccer. Everything in this episode is bargain bin. I bet that's what the series will be like.
Spoilers. She's right.
Episode 2.
Now we have the opening theme. It's peppy, upbeat, shallow, very teen girl squad. Pretty much what I'd expect for a show like this. In a good She-Ra remake, they would have gone the Voltron route with a subdued instrumental opening that suits the classical goddess grandeur of She-Ra. But since this isn't...
It took me an entirely 5 seconds before I wanted to kill myself. Either go full anime pop, go melodic, rock, or go subdued instrumental. Not this fucking pop country. You can taste the feminism.
The show just gave me the first joke that made me laugh. I didn't think being a princess was contagious. The screaming was also amusing. I will give this to Noelle Stevenson. When she isn't pandering to every special interest around, she can write a decent quip now and then. Nimona did establish she has a good sense of humor. Too bad a lot of it is getting lost in the writing room.
Glimmer's design is so trash laziness. She's just a round blob, and her face is high school level amateur. That's worse than I can draw, and I don't get paid. Adora's design is okay, when she's wearing the hot outfit. But once she transforms, they make her look full tranny, and I should know. Also, whatever the fuck happened with Bo's voice, he hit Bat Level's pitch, as if Glimmer ain't enough. By the way, that ethanol drunk shading is so grating, cause it's constantly right there in your face, and it's goddamn lazy. I can't tell if Bo is gay or just annoying, or feminist, or an annoying feminist, or all three. No, I take it back, he's clearly gay. Also, his heart keeps changing shape.
I'm betting Glimmer is his beard, or he's her beard. This episode had several opportunities to kill Glimmer, and I am disappointed they took none of them.
I hate that the bug didn't need Glimmer. They imply she can get tired from overusing her magic. Maybe she'll sacrifice herself down the road to do like a mega emergency teleport. Or she'll zap herself into space and explode, like a Sith getting smooshed. We have, by the way, also hit the level where mouth movement doesn't have to fit the words now. Doesn't have an open, but it happens. This indicates a reuse of assets. Excuse me, mouths ain't that hard to make, and they clearly have drawn a lot of different mouths. So how can they fail? Time pressure? Or maybe they're being lazy?
First drawing of the show that I have liked. Catra's face after she zaps Adora. I wish it had better shading and depth, but it was a good face. And despite myself, I'm liking Catra more and more. Good voice acting, her laugh was spot on, and good dialogue with just the right amount of mischief you'd expect in a cat villain. So far she's a runner for only reason to even bother with this mess.
Catra is the highlight. Adora has her moments. The laziness of the animations are still annoying the heck out of me. Yes, there's a couple of good faces. Catra's a nice distraction, again due to her catness. She has a more unique, but still bog standard anime face. I'm not a fan of how high-pitched everyone gets at times. Even Glimmer had a good face, but that's about the only thing I like about her.
It was a reflex. Darn it, show. That's 2 lines that were actually funny. Stop having flashes of actual good writing mixed in with all this dreck.
I have laughed entirely a singular time since this show started. I have yet to find another joke that has gotten more than a singular smile out of me. That one time is in episode 1, and of course it was Catra. Catra and Adora are also the only one that has gotten a smile out of me besides that.
She-Ra gets her full transformation. Sparkly magical girl time. I wonder how often they'll repeat it Sailor Moon style.
God damn, the fucking hair doesn't make any sense. How is this attached to her head? From the front it looks like she's bald with a floaty wig attached to her backside, I guess.
It's a wig. A blonde wig. She-Ra is a boy in a blonde wig. Specifically, Ben Tennyson in a blonde wig. Guess he was hard up for acting roles. He-Ra, indeed.
Hair aside, take a look at her moon boot feet when she's a tranny. Heck, that did actually make me laugh. It's clearly not intentional, but it was funny. Animations are still lazy though. The original owner of Horsey is just dead. Bo, get some decency. Come on. In a fair world, Glimmer would have been that owner. By that I mean dead.
And Glimmer turning around to suddenly trusting Adora was out of nowhere. It's like she had a sudden change of heart out of plot necessity.
Episode 3.
The intro teases a tech girl. I want the tech girl to premiere. And why is Glimmer's mom always so horrible? Are they always going to be fighting in every episode? I still say Shadow Weaver is a better mom.
A sex joke? Yes! Take Adora in the back way. On another note, I wish I had She-Ra's sword so I could stab myself to death during the opening song. Bo is showing some promise on occasion. Glimmer though! Stop making Glimmer shout. My ears want to crawl off my head and hide. I don't understand Glimmer's mom's accent. Besides horrible, the entire family's cancer. Also, why did Adora get clumsy? It's a weird form of slapstick that doesn't make much sense. And it's only for a single scene.
The horse is an alicorn now. What would Celestia and Luna think?
Wouldn't it have been more fun if the horse had just died? Radiation poisoning or gotten crisps? Also glad to see the swoopy horsey has eyeliner. I guess it got truly gay. Why ain't there any Unicrons?
Now we have a black woman bullying Catra. Is that anti-cat discrimination? Or is she incapable of racism because she doesn't have institutional power?
Is there more black people than cat people? In that case, yes, it's definitely racism, because you can only be racist towards minorities. Poor Catra, I would pet her and do other things to her.
And now we see Catra tearing apart her bed in rage from being abandoned by Adora. Was that actual pathos? Catra is still the best character so far, though she probably shouldn't tell the super powerful sorceress that she's thinking of defecting. Not smart.
Catra, no! Why? Imagine being a stormtrooper going to the Emperor and saying, "Hey, I think Luke was right. I might defect." It's so super dumb. When you know the person doesn't respect you, don't tell them.
A problem I noticed with the combat in this episode and the last. A lot of the action isn't very smooth. And while they mean for her to have a lot of oomph, there's no weight to the strikes.
This show's animations suffer from what I dislike about 3D anime. It's not smooth, and it seems fake, like dolls fighting. But this is a 2D anime, so that's very well done. Also, why would cutting half the barrel of a tank prevent it from firing?
I will give credit to the writers in this episode for establishing She-Ra's need for help. They're showing here that she can't single-handedly charge into the Fright Zone and take on all of Hordak's forces. Even in charging into a base like this, she can take damage from their weapons, so she needs allies to win. They avoid making She-Ra an invincible Mary Sue, at least.
I don't think I'm masochistic enough to watch this show. I usually find pleasure in pain, but this is a lot of the no-no. Please, She-Ra, got Glimmer and her mom, then me, so I might escape this.
Hordak speaks calmly and makes sense. Catra is a snarky cat because Shadow Weaver let her be a snarky cat. Once again, the villains prove way better written than the heroes. Are we supposed to hope they lose? Because I kind of want them to win right now.
You know why the bad guys work? They're not limited to the princess design, they can actually take chances, at least a little bit. And they seem less inclined to force it gay. Maybe it is because the Horde is the cisgender white males, so they don't get the pure true Tumblr treatment.
Episode 4.
Adora got the best facial expression in the show so far, after she exploded the bed and escaped the room from the feathers. And Glimmer almost fell to her death. Again with the teasing. Every time they do a close-up of She-Ra, you can see she's a boy. Her face is a boy. Her arms and shoulders are boys. Stop showing us She-Ra has a dick. I'm going to go as far as to say that Glimmer's mom trust Adora 1000% too quickly.
Shadow Weaver threatens to tear memories from her skull, yet Catra still shows concern for her when she looks unwell. That was an actual subtle bit of characterization there.
I think the writers love Catra too. That's why she's getting all of the actual halfway decent writing here, while everyone else just gets tropes. In that regard, I can say I'm a bit surprised that Adora's voice actress doesn't suffer more from the tropiness.
Holy jeez, Perfuma's opening intro was janky. Like, something is weird with her limbs. She looks like a character from another show, but I can't figure out from where.
Why is She-Ra lifting a wagon? And I do appreciate they did not give her underarm hair. And She-Ra glows with the might of 1,000 lesbian crushes. She emits her own gaydar. She even gets swarmed by hippies in the creepy way her adult female fans would.
What is with those background hippies? Why do they look like grade school drawings? Were people paid to draw those? That's not even Tumblr bad. That's, look ma, I just got my first how to draw anime book bad. Did they hire grade schoolers to draw for this?
Look at Perfuma's mouth through the entire conversation with She-Ra. LOL. Kill me. Oh. And now we have a big bad villain unwilling to tolerate the personal agendas of his generals and telling them to get back to the main goal of conquering the planet. Did this version of Horde read the evil overlords list?
I am so annoyed by these hippies. I want all of their plants to burn. It's like the writers rolled dice on a chart of random personality tropes, had to come up hippie, and gave it to Perfuma. There's no deeper metaphysical or spirituality here, just trappings of hippie culture and flowers.
Where did this I'm useless no matter what form I take come from? Adora was confident and assured. I get she's not sure about the powers, but she was a competent commander chosen to be a force captain. She's 100% established as not useless as Adora, and there's nothing to make her think that.
You'd expect arrogance and overconfidence born of ignorance to be her main flaw, not self-doubt. Now the group are sneaking into an enemy base. Where did they get the enemy guard outfits? And why did they take off the helmets? Oh, let's just reveal we're not guards, so the point of our disguise is rendered useless. That is so dumb.
The flower hippie princess has tentacle vine powers. That's going to make hentai doujins interesting. Though I really do not want her to be in them. She creeps me out.
Here's an action moment that makes no sense. She-Ra throws her sword at a door to distract some guards. Why throw the sword at the door? Take out a guard with it. If you want a distraction, the sword sticking out of a dead guard is a great distraction.
Not enough time has passed for these characters to be this chummy. It's so forced. Another change of heart moment.
Before we go on, we need to talk about the animation in this episode, because that was atrocious. Episode 1 through 3 were okay, if flat. This is where the anime budget went to complete hell. I wouldn't notice how awful the background secondaries would be normally, but they put them front and center multiple times. There's this one goddamn kid, who only has one expression. The kid just keeps smiling in the background, even when it's bad news. It's like, hey kid, your plants are all gonna die, and your people will suffer endless torment. And they're all like, durr, that's okay. When She-Ra looks at the crowd, she sees these lifeless, soulless eyes staring back at her. They're supposed to be hopeful to communicate that they're depending on her. Yet the drawings are so goddamn terrible. It looks like she's reacting in fear to a zombie horde. A zombie horde of hippies.
The background characters are legitimately making me angry. One of them aged, changed genders, and aged back between a few frames. And as pointed out, a lot of them never changed their facial expression. They were drawn once and never again. I hate this so fucking much. This is a clear indicator of laziness. This is what anime studios rush out, and they have way less time frame to do each episode. In those cases, it can be actually excused, because they're gonna change it up and make it better for when it's released on DVD or streaming services. This is after this is premiered. And what if the fucking Horde soldiers just lost to 2 hippies hitting him with leaves? What a fearful enemy! Also, it sounded like she said she fucked a mantisaur, not fought. And again, they tease us with Glimmer's death, this time by laser.
Episode 5.
Every time the intro I hate it so much. Every episode seems to want to start with the mom being overbearing and stupid. I think the writers have mommy issues they're working out. Well, I don't think. They're feminists, so clearly they have issues. All the issues. And I'm still asking for that sweet release of death.
When they rolled random traits on their chart, Angela got overbearing mommy assigned to her, and Glimmer got shouty rebellious teen. Why does the mom insist on no violence? She-Ra is a legendary warrior. You know she is. You know she's super powerful. Why are you insisting she not use that power?
Maybe the twist is that the last alliance went horribly wrong because she wanted a non-violent revolution. Just words spoken in harsh mommy tones. It makes too much sense to use the superpowered princess giant who can karate chop a tank in twain.
I would not be surprised.
Oh, look, a Star Wars reference! They have to hire a captain, so they go to a shady bar with all kinds of weird life forms. I don't hate this reference. It's not too on the nose. These fishmen are so not scaly. I will call them seamen. And now we have Seahawk. The drunk shading on Seahawk is extra thick drunkness. Bo is so gay for Seahawk. Look at his wrist loosen, like noodles in hot water. Of course they're gonna make Bo gay. I mean, we can't have straightness in this show.
I don't know if I like Scorpia or not. The kitty line was good. The I'm a hugger line was definitely not. Her accent reminds me of Fargo, and I do like that. I keep thinking Overwatch every time she's on screen.
I do like Scorpia's design, but her voice needs a bit more roughness to fit her size. But I do have a thing for muscular ladies. And now, Glimmer is goddamn ranting again. Why do they keep letting her rant? Please make her talk less. At least I have to stop insisting on making her talk loudly. I don't hate Seahawk. The voice actor is hamming the shit out of him, which I do like.
Bo is a bargain bin Sokka. Mermista is bargain bin Mai. They rolled on their random personality trope chart, got emo girl, and slapped it onto Mermista for no discernible reason. I wish I was watching Avatar right now. I'll even settle for Korra.
I want to punch Mermista in her stupid emo face every time she lets out an exasperated sigh. That choice of voice, oh goodness, that's awful. And of course, she's gay. For She-Ra! Which is okay, cause She-Ra is a dude confirmed. Hashtag confirmadidly.
I got it. I know what the show is trying to be. It's a harem magical girl show, with She-Ra as the harem lead. The rest of the show will just be princesses trying to take her on dates. One brief, unconvincing sob story, and suddenly she's all adventure! Yet another change of heart.
I should be laughing about the Seahawk setting his boat on fire, but it was so shoehorned in. Just dumb, not funny. They wanted Seahawk to be lovably gregarious, but he was just shallow and annoying. I still respect how much the voice actor is hamming it. It's like he knew! Also, did he sexually assault Mermista by hopping into her lap without permission? I think she should say he raped her and waved the Me Too banner around. That's really weird considering the creators. How would they allow such things?
Episode 6.
Science Princess? Science Princess! I freaking love Science Princesses. Yes! I'm actually looking forward to this. Don't screw it up show. Give me a character other than Catra to root for. I like her lab setup. The hair powers seem a bit random, but those are fine. Her design is okay. The purple hair and red eyes is a cute combo. Oh god, her voice is an abortion.
There's some generally good design sprinkled in. It's genuinely like science-y princess style. But why does this show keep having ghastly voices? Does the voice director hate ears? I reckon she got asked to somewhat mimic Dexter, but then make it annoying. And now She-Ra's voice is getting annoying too. Why do the voices hate us?
It's mainly the accent they chose to use. She's making her voice intentionally grating. It's so irritating that a line I'd normally laugh at, "I need to take her apart," just falls flat because I'm distracted by how she's saying it. The vocal performances are so negative that they're making already subpar writing worse. I wouldn't mind seeing Rule 34 of Entrapta, so long as I don't have to hear her talk.
So random civilians go from cowards to warriors on par with the main cast in less than 5 minutes. I'm getting hippie leaf villager flashbacks. PTSD! Oh, humanity! This show has serious pacing issues. It leaves no time for anything to develop. So every progression from A to point D skips right over B and C. It's like the Venom movie, leaving out entire acts of the episodes.
And what is with that running animation? They literally just looped a few frames and then zoomed in on them to make it look like they were coming forward. Bo's eyes are pointed in both directions at once.
I bet it's an asset flip. The whole show could be an asset flip. They just took crappy stock animations in the Dreamworks vault. I reckon Dreamworks in turn scrapped the anime animations, drew hastily over it, and slapped it into the show to save time and money. I'm starting to also notice more and more inconsistencies in She-Ra's muscle mass. She goes from tone-strong Amazonian, everything Gal Gadot was missing in Wonder Woman, to noodly Magoo. At times she even has uneven limb muscle tone, so one arm will be noodly Adora, while the other one will be She-Ra strong. I smell lazy acid flip. Also, full of robots equals 7 robots. Glimmer, die. Please.
After what we saw in episode 4, I think you're onto something with the asset flips.
Episode 7.
Foreshadowing dialogue. Safest and most relaxing place. So it's gonna get blown up. I hope. And then they'll all die screaming in pain.
I have to admit I started this episode a day after the last one. My brain needed breaks. I got eye spasms when the intro song started. Oh god, I think I do have PTSD. At least Shadow Weaver didn't let Catra fail over and over. She got 2 chances. And now Shadow Weaver's doing it herself.
We rode a mountain through the clouds. The show wants to make sure you're impressed by the scenery so badly that it's reminding you of how impressed you're supposed to be.
At least I can enjoy the landscape art. It's not too bad. Nothing great, but not bad. Something is very, very wrong with the aunt's head animation. She keeps nodding, disturbingly so. Oh, look, the badly drawn background characters are back. Now they get to do magic in a boring and badly done way. And the random personality traits of the episode? Annoying relative. If this show acid flips harder, it's going to fall on its neck and break it. We can only hope.
Light Spinner, Shadow Weaver. Ha ha, I see what you did there, show.
The scene just focusing on Adora trying to relax I did enjoy. Until Glimmer started talking. Oh god. Why did they draw Glimmer in a bathing suit? We don't want to see her ugly doe bod in less clothing. This is the opposite of fan service. Fan torture. This is the Guantanamo Bay of animations.
The aunt is as annoying as the mom. Is Glimmer's whole family just nothing but women with big mouths? Maybe Glimmer's dad died from being annoyed to death.
I'm not hugely against the aunt's voice. It's serviceable, nothing special. Now the writhing though. At least like with Seahawk, she's hamming it up. And the people that animated her face seem to have understood that she's hamming it up. That was until she got angry. Oh god damn it. Every single strand of hope is broken in twain! By the way, they teased Glimmer getting accidentally gutted by Adora. Stop teasing me. Get this girl a shield.
Shadow Weaver's voice reminds me of Ursula in a positive way. She's a lot like Granny Goodness from DC Comics. Once again, the writing for the villains is superior to the heroes. Casta comes off as just a shallow stereotype. Shadow Weaver is competently depicted as an abusive parental figure. I think the writers put some of their personal experiences into her dialogue.
And despite being a manipulator, Shadow Weaver is still a better mother figure than Angela. Shadow Weaver is a good villain. I want the reimagining where Adora gets the sword but goes back to the Horde.
Episode 8.
Oh, here we go. The episode I've seen 100 screenshots of. This is the one the fangirls love.
Oh, I'm probably gonna hate it. Aren't I? And why isn't Bo going with Seahawk? That would have made more sense. He chose the worst animated character in the entire show. God, he has no sense or taste. If Bo and Glimmer were matching outfits, does that include dresses? Matching outfits with his best girlfriend? Equal 100%. Yes, he is gay. I can see Bo being a crossdresser, and I regret that thought.
Scorpia's backstory raises some interesting questions here. Her family chose to join Hordak. They gave him what he wanted. Now their daughter willingly serves in the military. That implies he's not a one-dimensional villain. He can make alliances and deals and possibly even honor bargains honestly. Even more, Scorpia is implying her family were outcasts from the other princesses, which is why they joined the Horde. Shadow Weaver also said that she was cast out from Mysticor in the last episode because they didn't like her. She was different, so she was driven away and into Hordak's ranks. So is Hordak's army one big giant evil empire of doom? Or a collection of the galaxy's downtrodden and rejected, rejecting the oppression of a matriarchal society? Could the villains have the superior writing because they're actually the secret good guys in this?
Tyro, no! If you think too hard about this, the show will give you cancer. Rainbow cancer!
Glimmer screaming, "Makeover time!" gave me cancer. So too late. The prom setup once again makes me think of Teen Girl Squad. Teen Girl Squad! Cheerleader! So-and-so! What's her face? The ugly one!
By the way, I really do like Scorpia. She makes a fine addition to Catra. Go, go, villain rangers! Also, big, strong, half scorpion, alongside sassy, slim, sexy cat. It's the perfect future couple. I have a new ship.
Also, yes, Catra is hot in the suit. There, I said it. Random personality trait roll chart used in this episode, child who wants to be taken seriously. This one got applied to Frosta. And, like the others, it's her only defining trait. I really wish Scorpia didn't have the mental illness haircut. Or at least had a Russian accent. And scream lines like, "Together we are strong," or "Gravity kills," or "That's the power of attraction."
I just realized why Perfuma is so janky. She looks like a character from King of the Hill. She's a reskin of either Boomhauer or Gribble. And they were not designed to do these kind of movements. It's icky.
She's not the flower princess. She's the propane princess.
Catra is sexy in a suit indeed. Meow. She's definitely the man in the relationship. So Scorpio's the female, because she's also yum, but she's the stronger and bigger. I really like that dynamic. Oh, look, they used the group shot of the ball to slip in more gayness. You have two of the princesses cuddling right there. And you have the self-insert of Noelle Stevenson and her real-life partner right there too. And they put in gay male couples too. These images don't suck nearly as much as the one from episode 4 or 7, but they're still just frames that the camera pans across. No motion at all. So lazy. Just enough time spent to push the gay agenda.
This is a place, again, where the attempt at quirky dialogue fails. Entrapta should be funny to me. I love aloof, weird science characters that do what she does, but the delivery and the word choice just don't work. They needed to crank it up, add a twist, something. The tiny food thing does nothing. It's superfluous to her mad scientist routine. It's a non sequitur punchline that kills the flow of the humor.
Entrapta is so turning evil later on. I can feel it, and I'm excited to see it. What's with Glimmer's character arc in this? This is a ripoff of My Little Pony episode. Why is this bad 80s remake referencing a good 80s remake? I cannot say that in a straight face. Tyro wrote that line. I don't like My Little Pony, though I will admit that it's indeed superior show. A way, way superior show. Even a good and better remake. Also, I'm sure Markson will be unhappy with this.
Catra again gets a good line. She stole my food and then asked me to spy on people with her. Is this what love feels like? This show seems to average one moderately clever line every couple episodes, as opposed to a good show, which tends to have them multiple times in an episode.
The trash paper, "Hi Adora," did make me giggle. That was fun. And Catra and Adora have so been a couple because they ooze ex-girlfriend more than ex-friends. The dance in this episode is where the writers went, you know, this show, it's not gay enough. There's little gay, but it's not the big gay. We need big gay. We need to make it gayer. What's the biggest gay we can find? Oh, I know. Presents large gay. And they did. The biggest gay in the universe of gay. The sexual tension between Catra and Adora is palpable. Just kiss, please. My pants demand it.
Episode 9.
On the list of things I did not need to see is Glimmer with battle damage clothing. Let's not have any more of Mrs. Potato Head fan service.
Tyro, love, I'm serious. The second the opening song starts, my legs start violently shaking. I honestly think my brain is taking some damage. Bo attempted gay seduction on Kyle. It was a critical hit! Gotta love how the white teen guy is written as pathetic and inept. What's the writer saying? Screw you, audience, we don't want your money. Then again, they are Netflix. Like Adam Sandler movies, people's dislike of the movie, and in this case show, makes them wanna watch the show, so you can count on Netflix counting that moolah. Oh, a decent funny scene. You have Seahawk tricking Scorpia with a lame, I'm an expector line, and Perfumer and Entraptor not seeing eye to eye on the things with the whole nature versus science thing. Am I watching the same show as before? It's funny how the dynamic works better when Glimmer's not around.
Now hold on a sec. In an earlier episode, it strongly implied the black girl didn't like Adora, and was happy to pick on Catra without her interference. Now she's acting like Adora leaving was a personal betrayal. This and Kyle have finally given some bad writing to the villain side of the show.
You could say Entraptor was. Entrapped? Ha! It's funny how it's the middle of the night and everything is insanely bright.
Holy cow! Shading! Oh, how I missed you. And it's gone. It's not because I like you. Catra confirmed as tsundere.
And now we have seen what they can do with proper shading. It doesn't look half bad. This show cannot depict running properly. Once again, it's just bad animation cycles that just zoom in and out instead of having them actually move. It's almost as bad as this infamous scene from Berserk where he's just wobbling up and down to simulate movement. Why do they insist on using that kind of angle for running when they suck at it? Besides shortcoming in animation and some, very mediocre writing as per usual, this is the first time I actually didn't want to cry and or sleep while watching this show. I rate this episode watchable. Also, I do believe Kyle is dead. RIP, first objectively bad villain character.
Episode 10.
Okay, so I don't get why the rebellion did not expect losses. It's basically a war. It's a war. You lose soldiers. And a serious first. Angela actually behaves like a decent mother and greets Glimmer normally and concerned. And she's back to being a totally unreasonable bitch. I mean witch with a B. A big B. The intro song.
Yup, that's concrete. Add another to the successful joke counter.
I do like Scorpia. This series ain't good enough for Catra and her. Ugh. A close up on Glimmer's fat, disgusting legs and cankles. I just want Glimmer to explode and die. Go poof in a shower of glitter and guts and go away. Or it could be the glorious return of Guts from Berserk just to appear and murder most of the princesses. Inglorious 3D! Oh, now that I'm thinking back to it, probably not.
Catra acting as a low-key manipulator on Entrapta deserves a positive remark. We already saw how Shadow Weaver convinces people they're nothing without her, to take advantage of the vulnerable, like orphans. Catra picked that up from her, and is now using a lesser version of that on the Tech Princess. It shows how the cycle of abuse perpetuates itself. I can only believe the writing for this particular theme is as good as it is because someone on the writing staff has personal experience with it. Everything else in this show is shallow and undeveloped. This was the one thread they actually strung together competently. Scorpia also got another good line. You can't just touch another woman's tail without asking.
Entrapta is missed potential galore. She is so close to being fantastic. Unlimited power! Another Star Wars reference. Oh god, her evil cackle officially killed my cat. Rest in peace, Joe. By switching sides, Entrapta is now the worst voice-acted villain, which is a shame. Also, called it! By the way, I really like Scorpia, so why did they have her annoying fall brick joke? Not funny, just distracting.
And now we have the BDSM hierarchy among the villain set. Catra is the Dom, Scorpia is the switch, and Entrapta is the sub. In all seriousness, I want Catra and Entrapta bondage porn. Someone make that happen. Preferably someone with an eye for good hentai art, and not, Tumblr.
The animators wanted to remind us that She-Ra is a guy again. So here he is, with a total masculine body frame. Since She-Ra grows 3 feet when she transforms, I bet her dick grows in proportion. That's why all those chicks are eyeing her. They want that giant Amazonian slong. I must admit, I do like when Adora is frustrated. She turns barbaric, and that is Vikingly neat. Also on a personal note to Adora, you can totally heal Glimmer if you just stab her.
I noticed She-Ra's crown doesn't really sit on her head. It just kind of floats there. I wonder if they're going to try and do with Shadow Weaver what they did with Hagar in Voltron. And by try and do, I mean poorly imitate.
I know I'm a big disappointment. Yes, you are, Glimmer. You are a disappointment. Everyone is disappointed in you. Except that Tumblr concertina that designed you and the writing staff and the setcons that consider the show a giant victory for equality. But humanity is disappointed in them for creating this version of Glimmer. And this dialogue is definitely drawn from the writing staff. Talk to their parents about it. Hey mom, I'm writing the new She-Ra. Is it going to be a modern epic fantasy with gods and goddess figures and rousing good versus evil clashes? No way, we're gonna make them have rainbow, fat people, and gayness all around. I'm so disappointed in you. You screwed everything up. That's totally how it went for the entire creative team on this. Hecking heck, the mom's accent is just brain melty as Glimmer's voices.
Another word of slight praise for this. The contrast of Catra and Shadow Weaver with Glimmer and Angela was a good touch narratively. Mind you, Shadow Weaver is still the best mom in this series.
Episode 11.
The sword is a computer security key. Wonder if it's also She-Ra's Bitcoin wallet. I bet she bought a ton when it was cheap.
I want you all to look closely at Catra jumping through the gap. That is one awkward animation to add to the list. They draw a jump pose and they put the mouse on her and just drag her across the scene. That's lazy. And funny. I want Adora and Catra to kiss. And do things. Catra in webbing bondage distress. Nice.
How fragile are these spider things that even Adora can tear them apart? Catra being super strong and tearing into them, I can buy that. But regular old Adora? That doesn't make me think First One Tech is super strong.
Nah, I can actually buy that. Giving her princess powers, I reckon Adora should be strong even in basic form. And she was a force captain and they established she was good at it. Now the design of her doesn't really show it, but I am okay with this. Oh, look at how willing Entrapta just put herself in handcuffs. Spread eagle even. She's such a good little bondage slave. They seriously need to get her a ball gag though. Scorpia is best new girlfriend for Catra. So caring and cute. They make an excellent evil but not so evil couple.
This episode was not bad. Even borderline good, in fact. Of the 11 episodes to date, this is the one with the fewest problems. You have a look back at Catra and Adora's dynamic as they grew up. You have Catra once more tempted to join Adora on the light side. And you have an incredibly plausible reason for Catra to purposefully choose villainy. Adora accepted the call to heroism. Catra is refusing that same call, and it's because Adora chose to accept it. One could even posit that had Adora remained a Force Captain, Catra would have joined the rebellion. My only criticism is that Catra's claim about not liking Adora is slightly out of place, given her earlier demonstrated enthusiasm when she attempted to rescue Adora in Episode 2. But it's likely to tie into the established theme that Catra uses the sour grapes defense to mask the pain. She wanted to be number one and only said she didn't. She wants to go lesbians with Adora, but only says she doesn't. And here's another possibility. What if she's only acting all evil for Adora's sake? To make her think she's now turned her back? What if the memories made her realize she'd only bring Adora down or get her into trouble? Catra knows Adora has to be the hero, and she's not someone who plays well with that. Adora wants Catra by her side, but Catra knows that that will just make Adora less effective. So she is purposefully keeping away so Adora won't feel compelled to come to her aid. And so she won't look bad when Catra behaves as her typical self. In that light, Catra has become a Byronic heroine. It would be a truly deep character path for her.
If the show had 13 episodes of this quality, then yes, the show would have been pretty good. and I would have been able to overlook a lot of the animation because of the writing. It has the two strongest voice actors with a script, not too bad. It does show the dynamic between Catra and Adora, and what they once had. Catra is the annoying ex that won't admit she likes Adora because of how she was dumped. I do believe they're just gonna go with the I love her but jealousy wins. I think if the animation had been better, you would have been able to see the hardship of her decision in Catra's eyes and expression. You can glimpse it, but it could just as well be a fluke. What do you think the odds are that they will go this story route you suggested, instead of the obvious Catra runs power and discarding Adora to get it path?
It would show that the writing team, or at least one member, possesses some truly good talent. So, none at all.
Episode 12.
Why is Lighthope teleporting? Just because? And that Lighthope form joke almost worked, but they had to just make it too long. By the way, I realized something. The only reason Glimmer is fat is because she was so used to teleporting. This is something you would do in a satire version of the show, but they made it into the actual show. So I don't know, fat acceptance? Cause being obese is healthy? Oh god, this show is gay. Even the horse is gay. And super annoying. Here's what Seahawk would be if the voice actor of Seahawk didn't hand the fuck out of the script. She-Ra's unicorn is a communist rebel. I'd say we should throw him from a helicopter, but he has wings. Maybe we could just throw him up from a helicopter into the rotor blade. Can we turn the unicorn into glue, by the way? Sparkly glue. And then use it to shut Glimmer's breathing holes so she finally dies.
Looks like the random personality chart spat out sassy gay communist when they decided on what to make Swiftwind. Angela not being a raging bunt cake for once? Wow. Hope it stays that way. It's a bit of change of heart, but at least it was actually caused by that weird abbreviated heart-to-heart. Oh hey, I'm being a jerk to my daughter because of my own misplaced guilt. I should stop. Catra playing with Entrapta's hair has got to be a signal for something. Entrapta's dialogue about the first one crystal is the first time the writers actually put some effort into playing up her science quirk. Hang on, I made a model! This whole thing would be funnier if her voice acting didn't turn the ears into bleeding holes.
Again! Entrapta's almost there. Her half-assed Dexter accent and evil cackles just need to be tweaked. But besides that, this is a legit good counter trio to the good guys. She-Ra's is budget avatars. And the princesses are discount benders. Everything changed when the Horde attacked.
Hordak is again being very sensible. If you have a super cool resource, and the first minion you give it to isn't using it properly, give it to someone with a better plan. He doesn't let seniority or bureaucracy get in the way of letting a good idea come forward. He lets merit determine the winner, not identity. In that sense, he's closer to Martin Luther King than any of the heroes. Also, the fight between Catra and Shadow Weaver was alright.
Now we know the cause of climate change. It's Entrapta. The way she talks down to Catra and treats her like a moron is a nice touch. Snarky Entrapta is more fun than lol random Entrapta. I think it's unfair Hordak doesn't also mention Scorpia. Catra and Entrapia. Hordak, Scorpia's also there.
Notice how they dropped the tiny food quirk. She's been in that basement for days. No tiny food. Maybe they realized it was a pointless character trait, so they made it go away.
I'm so goddamn annoyed with this series' change of heart. The characters flip-flop so gosh damn fast. It's ridiculous. A horse calls her stupid, and now Adora totally rejects everything Lighthope just told her. You know, the mysterious goddess figure who actually knows what's going on? But nope. The horse said something stupid, so that must be true. By the way, our horse equal some dead village's horse that just follows us home.
And with no training montage or additional info, Adora has done nothing to level up. The entire going to the castle for training was an utter waste. Just an excuse to give us episode 11, and probably foreshadowing some future plot, assuming they're smart enough to foreshadow anything. She's the same coming out as she was going in. Adora's only arc was going from, I need info about my past so I can help my friends, to, info about the past is useless, I can help my friends on my own. She actually got dumber. That was character regression.
But Tyrell, do you not see the brilliance in character regression which Adora have experienced basically through the entire series? When this show ends, she's gonna be a tiny toddler who can't even drool. It's genius. It's not.
Episode 13.
Look at Natasha and Spinnerella. Look how gay they are. They're a couple, everyone. Do you get it? Is it obvious enough? How many more times do we need to shove this in your throat? Where's our LGBT award, huh?
Natasha's voice is so stereotypically black. That's super racist. And Spinnerella's fat now? I thought Glimmer was a horrible potato. But Spinnerella's a blob. A flying blob. She produces wind by waving her flabby rolls. Her other superpower is dying of diabetes and a heart attack in a couple decades. But first she has to level up by getting her leg amputated. Diabetes ahoy! Wait, why did they make her fat? Do they want kids to think it's okay to be fat? It isn't! Being fat is bad. You can't be a good hero or heroine if you're fat. Lose weight. Be healthier.
Spinnerella reminds me of that god-awful Faith comic. Critics praise Faith for being a fat superheroine. You know what the audience did? They didn't buy it. Good to see She-Ra is taking the same marketing notes from a failed comic line. Maybe they'll suffer the same fate. And all because the art team's crew of fatties are too insecure about including thin women. Also, 2 more random character chart roles on display here. Spinnerella got Fat Woman, and Natasha got Sassy Black Woman.
Fat acceptance is what they most likely responded when the producers asked, "Why did you go with this design?" That's of course before they yelled #MeToo and got the producer yeeted out for being a bigot. It's written in the hecking stars. You know what? Let's make fat jokes.
Spinnerella is so fat, her belly button gets home 15 minutes before she does.
Spinnerella's so fat that when she walked in front of the TV, Natasha lost 3 seasons of her favorite show.
Spinnerella's so fat, Natasha jogs around her for exercise.
Spinnerella's so fat, when she talks to herself, it's a long-distance call.
Spinnerella's so fat, if she would go and buy a fur coat, an entire species would go extinct.
And Spinnerella's so fat that when Adora and the other princesses was about to run her down with their flying mobile, they swerved and ran out of gas.
Entrapta has no runestone, and Scorpia has no connection to her family's runestone. I want to say I'd like to know why, but the only answers these writers would give would be flippant and annoying.
You demand too much, my love. It's the last episode, of course they won't answer Jack Toss. I realized something. If the princesses glitch, that means they are programs or robots, which means they can be reprogrammed, which means canonically we can reprogram Glimmer out of existence. Or reprogram the show into a better show.
The voice director loves screaming. Want to convey resolve? Scream. Stress? Scream. Physical effort? Scream. Pain? Scream. At least that would make sense. The characters are doing a ton of screaming, but I feel no dramatic investment in it. It's Pat Lee's dull surprise comic expression all over again.
Bask in the animated greatness of war between 20 people. What a massive battle, truly marvelous. I refuse to believe that Glimmer without her powers can defeat professional soldiers that have trained every day. How did Catra not crack a few ribs when She-Ra dunked her into a mountainside? I honestly think Catra's writing got weaker after episode 11. Perfumer might have the sexiest and most terrifying powers. Oh, what's this? So they just have Frosta rip Iceman's bridge move? Stop referencing better material.
And why is Frosta even there? They never convinced her to join. She has no reason to be part of this. She has no reason to be friendly with any of them. They just threw her in last minute so they don't have to deal with it. The change of heart is so bad now, it's happening off screen. Damn it, Bakura, stop interfering in this.
The final attack is literally a rainbow. They wash away the evil with the power of gay. Hey kids, grow up gay and you can have special powers like AIDS. No, you know what? I'm fucking done. Fuck this. Fuck you, show. Fuck your writing. Fuck the changes of heart. Fuck your nonsense. Fuck your animations. Fuck you for making a couple good voice actors have to read out this fucking tripe. Fuck. I hope the paycheck is fucking gigantic to make up for this fucking piece of fucking shit. Fuck you for having a few actual promising characters so what a singular person in the group can write or some shit like that and it's not marked with your fucking stupid agenda. Fuck all of you. I'm fucking out of here.
She-Ra is a lesson in wasted potential. It's in many ways even more disappointing than a show that is just blatantly bad, like Steven Universe. They had a handful of decent ideas, a couple of which they realized well, and most of which were not executed well at all. Stevenson's quirky humor appeared in some places, but so many of the jokes were overdone. a lot of times an extraneous bit of dialogue would ruin what could have brought a chuckle. A similar issue to Ghostbusters 2016. The writers focus so much on making things gay and appealing to the agenda that they overlook basic concepts of character development, pacing, and even internal logic. The series needed several more rewrites and hard choices made on edits and cuts. I suspect the all-female writing staff was too caught up in not hurting each other's feelings, so they stopped at what gave them a chuckle in the room, but didn't challenge one another to go further. That's why so many of the attempted jokes fall short of making you laugh, or why Entrapta's dialogue is so underwhelmingly bland. The animation does not do this series any favors. It's well below what should have seen the light of day. Episode 4 doesn't even feel like a finished product. This is the studio that gave us the amazing remake that is Voltron. That She-Ra fell so far short of that is staggeringly disappointing, but not unexpected. The original 1980s She-Ra remains the one you should watch instead. Alright, now we do a rapid-fire questionnaire. First, favorite female character. For me, I go with Catra. She's a win by default. There's no real characters other than her.
For me, it's Catra. But special mention to 2 other characters that I can see can turn into something. Scorpia and Entrapta. Those 3 are just the best trio.
Favorite male character? For me, that'd be Hordak, for being someone who read the evil overlord list. In second place is Micah, because he's dead and can't be annoying.
I gotta go with Hordak as well, because he's a character. But for sheer enjoyment, I really like Seahawk. Not as a character, but I like the voice actor, and I like him hamming fuck out of that script. Again, as I said earlier, it's like he knew this was gonna be a mess, so let's just have fun. And he did that.
Worst female character? Glimmer.
Well, I don't say her name anymore for my mental health's sake.
Worst male character? For me, Swiftwind, because the world didn't need a gay communist Mr. Ed.
Oh, this is tough. There's hardly any male characters to choose between. They were all awful characters, except Hordak. So, I really do guess I'm gonna have to go with Swiftwind, the gay horse. He is the worst.
Best episode? For me, episode 11. But it wins by default because it's the only one that didn't suck.
For me, it's also episode 11. But I do find guilty pleasure in most of episode 9.
Worst episode? For animation, episode 4 with the hippies. For disappointment, episode 6, because it failed to deliver on science princess goodness. And for plot, episode 13, because it makes little to no sense at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with worst episodes and mention everyone that's not 9 and 11.
I think we're finally done with this dreck now. Flat animation, mixed voice acting, obviously idiotic body positivity crap in the designs. This show is trash. Don't waste your time unless you want to riff it. Thank God there are only 13 episodes.
Yeah, it was quite the shit show. They were so busy filleting their tacos to the thought of an all-feminist writing group that they didn't think about the quality aspect. I'm certain that through the entire creation and work period, the most audible thing in the studio sounded like someone shoving their fingers into a jar of mayo. By the way, I'm sorry to say this, my love, but there's gotta be 3 more seasons.
I need to go drink bleach now.
Way ahead of you!
Until our paths cross again, farewell.
For the honor of Grayskull!
One of the best videos I have seen on the internet, Tyler.
I am She-Ra!
And just think, next year we get High Guardian Spice, where the head writer, Kate Leth, is even less competent than the one for She-Ra.
Also, Thundercats Raw. She-Ra wanted to be the worst 80s remake, but Thundercats said, hold my beer.